is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Hello, thank you for tuning into Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We do apologize for the late start of your main newscast. I am Kevin Smith.
And I am Kayla King.
These are the top stories we are tracking. OMI contract still shrouded in secrecy, while it boasts of finding more gold. Meanwhile, condign action will follow if Gaioil probe confirms corruption, says the senior minister. Meanwhile, bus driver who ran cop with cutlass jailed for 12 months. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Welcome back, and now for the news in detail. On Wednesday, OMI Gold Mines Limited announced another high-grade gold find at 2 holes and also confirmed that there is a high-grade mineralization continuing below the pit, at least 100 meters down. Meanwhile, a fundamental question remains unanswered. What benefits will Guyana reap? Surely that question cannot be answered given that the contract remains shrouded in secrecy, which brings attention to another issue. Guyana is an EITI member under which it is encouraged to publicize all natural resources, contracts, and license that provide the terms attached to the exploitation of oil and gas minerals. However, since no contract has been seen to date, there is a clear violation of Guyana's contractual obligations to the EITI.
And now let's tell you, Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, says the government will take condign action if an Auditor General's probe unearths any irregularity at Gaioil. The minister had requested an urgent audit after meeting the Gaioil Board of Directors to seek clarity on hearing news of a scandal-free environment. Media reports have said that Aaron Realty Incorporated, or ARI, claimed it is left with a large quantity of fuel on hand after senior Gaioil officials allegedly made commitments to purchase the fuel. Though the dealer reportedly claims to have evidence, the senior minister and Gaioil's executives have told him otherwise.
Now let's tell you, spending the next 12 months in prison will be the bus driver who ran a policeman with a cutlass on Tuesday. The defendant, Colin White, appeared yesterday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where he was slapped with a total of 14 charges. 9 of them were traffic-related, while the remaining 5 were criminal charges. White pleaded guilty to 4 of the criminal charges and was sentenced to 12 months in prison. He was also fined $10,000 and further remanded on the 5th criminal charge. In relation to the 9 traffic charges, White pleaded guilty to 1 and was fined $7,500. For the remaining 8, he was placed on a total of $240,000 cash bail.
In other news, ExxonMobil Guyana's partner in the Starbuck block, CNOOC Limited, has reported a surge in earnings for the first quarter of this year. According to CNOOC yesterday, its first quarter revenue surged 21% over the previous year, and the company has since attributed its increased revenue to recovering oil and gas prices and higher sales. According to the company's reports, the revenue was $7.45 billion over the January to March period. The documents also note that the company benefited from a rise in by 20.5% to $59.7 per barrel, while as that should be gas prices were up 5% on year at $6.71 per thousand cubic feet.
It is now 13 hours 30 coming up after the break. ExxonMobil Stabroek Block partner sees urge in revenues this year. Clay brick factory, 46 acres of prime lands up for sale. NISL says interested parties must sign confidentiality agreement first. Meanwhile, 2 Queen's College students top CSEC and CAPE. Alleged serial rapist committed to stand trial and granted $250,000 bail. High Court. Still on remand for another rape charge. Do stay tuned.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. NISL is looking to dispose of more properties under its control and has since signaled its intention to sell off the old clay brick factory along with its lands. It called for proposals from interested persons or companies, either individually or as part of a joint venture or consortium with technical expertise and extensive experience, with any viable and suitable business venture for the redevelopment of the factory and its associated lands. According to the terms under which the request for proposal is being made, interested parties, upon registering, will have to sign a confidentiality undertaking with NISL. The government agency said a letter of authority will then be for a site visit in order to complete proposals.
The Ministry of Education yesterday announced that 2 Queen's College students have topped the 2020 Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination. The holder of the top spot for the CSEC examination is Bedesh Prasad, who secured 22 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. Speaking with Kaieteur News yesterday, Prasad said he is extremely elated and grateful for his results, while adding that the challenges of the COVID-19 did not affect his focus. When the pandemic hit Guyana, my teachers transitioned rapidly online to cover the remainder of the syllabus and to do revision. It was not difficult for me to make that transition because for almost all of my subjects, most of the syllables was covered before the pandemic hit, Prasad noted.
And now let's tell you, alleged serial rapist, 37-year-old Thurston Semple was yesterday committed to stand trial in the High Court for allegedly raping a sex worker. He was placed on $250,000 bail in the High Court for that offense. However, Semple remains in prison since he is still to answer for a similar charge involving another woman. This was confirmed with the director of prison, Nicklon Elliott. It should be noted that Semple is before the court for 3 other alleged rape charges, which occurred in August 2017 and January 2018. And now we move on to our COVID-19 update. According to Worldometer, the number of worldwide coronavirus cases has reached 146.7 million, with deaths at 3.1 million and recovery cases at 124.4 million. And in Guyana, there's a total of 12,448 cases, with total deaths at 277 and 10,619 complete recoveries. Meanwhile, the country has 1,552 active cases with 16 critical. And now we move on to the page 7 of today's Kaieteur News dedicated to being blunt. The PPPC government says the Gas to Shore project is good for Guyana, that the pros outweigh the cons. If so, let them show us the evidence. Show the people the financial studies you did which prove that this project is sound. Prove that you are not leading Guyanese into another debt trap. Show the people that this will not be another white elephant like the $200 million Skeldon factory. Stop treating Guyanese like fools and earn their trust for their mega project. And with that, we've come to the end of today's main newscast. I am Kevin Smith.
And I'm Kayla King.
Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465